In the 1980s, luxury had a very specific image. Sleek German sedans ruled the Autobahn, Italian cars carried flair and drama, and Swedish cars were known only for safety and practicality. But then came a machine that dared to combine all three. The Saab 9000 was born from an unlikely alliance, Italian style fused with Swedish engineering. It was elegant yet practical, fast yet safe, luxurious yet understated. This wasn't just another car, it was Saab's bold statement to the world that Sweden could compete head-to-head with BMW, Mercedes, and Jaguar. From its roots in a secret European project to its rise as Saab's flagship sedan, the 9000 became more than just a car. It was a cultural bridge between North and South, function and form, discipline and passion. This is the story of the Saab 9000, the luxury car that proved Sweden could dream in Italian, the Type 4 project and how it all began. The story of the Saab 9000 doesn't start in Sweden. It starts in Italy with a project so ambitious that it would unite 4 different car makers from 2 very different worlds. By the late 1970s, European automakers faced a challenge. Luxury sedans were growing in demand, but developing a brand new platform from scratch was becoming extremely expensive. Instead of competing alone, Fiat, Lancia, Alfa Romeo, and Saab agreed to work together on a single shared platform. This collaboration was codenamed Type 4. Number 1. Fiat wanted a modern executive sedan for everyday luxury. Number 2. Lancia dreamed of a stylish flagship to replace its aging Gamma. Number 3. Alfa Romeo needed something fast, sporty, and distinctly Italian. Number 4. Saab, the outsider in this Southern European club, had a different vision. A safe, durable Scandinavian luxury car that could stand up to the harsh winters of Sweden while also appealing to buyers in Germany, the UK, and America. For Saab, this was a turning point. Until now, the company had built quirky, aviation-inspired cars like the 99 and 900. These cars had cult followings, but they were not seen as direct competitors to Mercedes-Benz's S-Class or BMW's 7 Series. If Saab wanted to move into the big leagues of luxury, it needed something bigger, more refined, and more international. And so, with Italian designers sketching sleek silhouettes and Swedish engineers obsessing over safety and turbocharged engines, the blueprint for what would become the Saab 9000 was born. It was an unlikely marriage, fiery Italian passion mixed with cold Scandinavian logic, but that clash of cultures is exactly what gave the Saab 9000 its unique identity. Design and development, Swedish logic meets Italian flair. When the Type 4 project moved from sketches to prototypes, each brand added its own personality. Fiat, Alfa Romeo, and Lancia leaned heavily on Italian designers with sharp lines, low-slung stances, and a flair for elegance. Saab, on the other hand, had a completely different set of priorities. Saab's demands. For Saab engineers, safety and practicality weren't optional. They were the foundation. Coming from an aviation background, Saab believed cars should be engineered like airplanes, strong, precise, and protective. This philosophy clashed with the Italian approach, which favored sleek styling and driving passion. To meet Saab's strict standards, major changes had to be made. Reinforced body structure for crash safety, unique front-end design to withstand Swedish winters and protect passengers, a higher roofline and upright windshield for better visibility and cabin space, thicker sheet metal and anti-corrosion treatments to handle salty, icy roads. While the Italian cars, like the Fiat Croma, Alfa 164, and Lancia Thema, looked elegant, Saab's version became the most robust and practical. Italian touches that remained. Still, Saab didn't ignore the Italian influence. The 90s proportions were more European. Executive sedan, then quirky Swedish box. The sleek yet understated profile, clean lines, and hatchback practicality gave it a modern edge. Saab designers managed to balance form with function, making the 9000 look upscale without being flashy. Engineering innovations. Underneath, Saab brought its own magic. The 9000 was built around front-wheel drive and introduced Saab's signature turbocharged engines, offering both fuel efficiency and thrilling performance. It was roomy like a luxury car, handled like a sports sedan, and carried safety tech far ahead of its time. The interior was pure Saab cockpit-inspired dashboard with driver-oriented controls. Night panel function, later, to reduce distraction during night driving. Comfortable orthopedic seats that made long drives effortless. A clash-turned success. In many ways, the Saab 9000 was the most Saab of all the Type 4 cars, where Alfa focused on sportiness and Lancia on elegance. Saab carved its niche with intelligence and integrity. By the time it was ready for launch, the Saab 9000 wasn't just another executive sedan. It was a statement, proof that Swedish engineering could sit proudly in the same conversation as German luxury. Launch and market impact, a new kind of luxury. 1984 to 1990. In 1984, the world finally saw what Saab had been working on, the Saab 9000. At first glance, it didn't scream luxury like a Mercedes-Benz or flash like a Jaguar. Instead, it carried a subtle confidence, an executive sedan that looked understated on the outside, but packed innovation and personality on the inside. The big reveal. The 9000 debuted as a 5-door hatchback, a bold choice for the luxury segment. Most rivals went with traditional sedans, but Saab believed practicality mattered just as much as prestige. The hatch design gave the 9000 massive cargo space, turning it into one of the most versatile luxury cars of its era. Under the hood, Saab offered a range of engines, including their hallmark turbocharged 4-cylinder. This setup gave the car a perfect mix of performance and efficiency, something buyers appreciated at a time when fuel economy was becoming a global concern. Safety first, always. From the beginning, Saab marketed the 9000 as the safest luxury car money could buy. It featured advanced crumple zones, reinforced doors, and high crash test ratings. At a time when many luxury buyers only thought about comfort and status, Saab introduced the idea that safety itself was a form of luxury. Market reaction. Critics praised the 9000 for its spacious interior, more rear legroom than many rivals, comfortable, supportive seats. It is Saab's signature touch, turbo performance, that shocked people who underestimated a 4-cylinder. Practicality that no BMW or Mercedes could match. Still, Saab faced challenges. Many buyers in the US and Europe considered luxury synonymous with 6- or 8-cylinder engines. The 9000's 4-cylinder turbo had to fight against stereotypes, even though in real-world driving, it performed brilliantly, breaking into the executive class. Despite these hurdles, the Saab 9000 carved out a loyal following. It appealed to professionals who wanted something different from the predictable German sedans, people who valued individuality, intellect, and subtlety over sheer status. By the late 1980s, Saab had positioned the 9000 as a genuine competitor in the executive class. It wasn't selling in the millions, but it had built an image, the thinking person's luxury. Car, evolution and competition, facing the German giants, 1990s. As the 1990s began, the luxury car battlefield was dominated by Germany. BMW's 5 Series, Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and Audi 100/200 were the benchmarks for executives. Worldwide. To survive, Saab knew the 9000 had to evolve, not just to stay relevant, but to prove that Sweden could stand shoulder to shoulder with Stuttgart and Munich. Refinement and upgrades. Saab continuously updated the 9000 through the decade. More powerful turbos pushed performance into sports sedan territory. A new 2.3-liter turbocharged engine delivered smooth, effortless acceleration. The introduction of the 9000 CD sedan, 1988, gave buyers a more traditional executive look. Alongside the hatchback, Saab added luxury touches like leather interiors, wood trim, advanced climate control, and improved sound systems to appeal to high-end buyers. The 9000 Aero, introduced in the early 90s, became the performance flagship. With up to 225 horsepower and 0 to 60 times around 6.5 seconds, it could outpace many V6 rivals while still sipping less fuel. Saab's unique selling point. Unlike its German rivals, Saab didn't lean on sheer prestige. Instead, it marketed itself as safer. Crash test ratings often surpassed Mercedes and BMW. More practical, hatchback versatility. More efficient, turbocharged 4 cylinders outperformed thirsty 6s. More individualistic, for buyers who didn't want to follow the herd. For many professionals, doctors, architects, academics, and freethinkers, this made the 9000 irresistible. It wasn't a status badge car, it was a statement of independence, battling perceptions. Still, Saab had to fight uphill. In Europe, German brands dominated corporate fleets. In the US, Cadillac and Lexus were gaining ground. Saab's quirky intellectual image both helped and hurt. It attracted enthusiasts but limited mass market appeal. Yet despite this, the 9000 built a cult reputation. Car magazines often praised it as one of the most underrated executive sedans of the 90s. The 9000 Aero especially earned respect as a sleeper, a car that looked understated but could embarrass far more. Expensive rivals on the highway. Saab at its peak. By the mid-1990s, the 9000 had achieved what seemed impossible. It had carved a space in a segment dominated by giants. It wasn't the sales leader, but it was respected. 4. Saab loyalists, the 9000 represented the company at its absolute best, a perfect balance of innovation, practicality, and performance. The decline, Saab's struggles, and the end of the 9000, late 1990s. By the late 1990s, the automotive landscape was changing rapidly. Global competition, intensified safety and emissions regulations tightened, and buyers' tastes shifted toward SUVs and crossovers. For Saab, these shifts spelled trouble for the once mighty 9000. Aging platform. The 9000, despite continuous updates, was based on the Type 4 platform from the early 1980s. While revolutionary at launch, by the late 90s it was starting to show its age. Competitors had newer chassis, lighter materials, and more refined drivetrains. Even Saab's signature turbo technology was no longer as exclusive other brands had adopted. Similar efficiency innovations. Financial struggles. Saab under GM, 1990s. In 1990, General Motors acquired a controlling stake in Saab, promising financial stability and access to global resources. On paper, it seemed like a dream. Saab, a relatively small automaker, suddenly had the backing of one of the largest car companies in the world. But reality proved far more complicated. GM's involvement came with strings attached, the small, independent culture that had defined Saab for decades, a culture of bold engineering, unconventional ideas, and meticulous attention to detail, now had to coexist with a giant bureaucracy. Decisions that once took days began taking months. New projects required approvals from multiple layers of management, slowing innovation and creating tension between Swedish engineers and American executives. For the Saab 9000, these changes had significant consequences. The platform, already aging from its Type 4 origins, needed careful updates to remain competitive against German and Japanese luxury cars. Yet development cycles lengthened and some planned innovations were delayed or cancelled. Saab struggled to maintain the balance between its signature practicality and turbocharged performance, while also integrating GM components that sometimes felt at odds with the brand's identity. Financially, Saab faced pressure to meet global sales targets, often prioritizing volume over the thoughtful engineering that had made the 9000 unique. The company could no longer take risks in the same way, and the once bold design and technology decisions became conservative, safe, and at times frustrating to engineers and loyal customers alike. Though GM's backing provided stability, it came at a cost: independence, speed, and the fearless innovation that had made Saab legendary. For the 9000, this era marked the beginning of a slow decline, as bureaucracy and compromise gradually replaced the daring vision that had first launched the model to success. Shifting market preferences. Executive buyers increasingly preferred German sedans with traditional prestige badges or sporty luxury models. In the US, the rise of SUVs and crossovers shifted attention away from hatchback sedans like the 9000. Despite its practicality and reliability, the 9000's quirky personality became a liability. The very traits that had won it a cult following now limited its broader appeal. Final iterations. Saab tried to keep the 9000 relevant with updates, facelifts, and interior redesigns for a more modern look. Limited performance variants like the 9000 Aero to maintain excitement. New safety features to uphold Saab's reputation. But sales continued to decline. By 1998, the 9000 was officially discontinued in most markets, replaced by the Saab 95, a more modern executive sedan designed to compete with BMW and Mercedes while shedding some of the 9000's quirks. Legacy of the 9000. Though the 9000 ended production, its impact endured. Safety innovations set new standards for executive sedans. Turbocharged performance proved that 4 cylinders could compete with V6 and V8 rivals. Practical luxury showed that functionality didn't have to compromise style. Saab cultivated a devoted following, enthusiasts who still celebrate the 9000 as a car ahead of its time. The Saab 9000 remains a symbol of Swedish ingenuity with Italian inspiration, a car that dared to be different, and a reminder that luxury doesn't always mean conformity. The Saab 9000 legacy today. The Saab 9000 was never the flashiest car on the road. It didn't flaunt German badges or roar with Italian bravado. It didn't arrive at the party demanding attention with chrome and ego. Instead, it quietly commanded respect, a thinking person's luxury car engineered to excel where it mattered most. From the first glance, it hinted at its intelligence, at the careful balance of form, function, and innovation that made it unlike anything else on the road. For those who drove it, the 9000 was more than metal, plastic, or turbocharged. Horsepower. It was practicality wrapped in elegance, a car that married safety to performance and innovation to restraint. Every hatchback curve wasn't just aesthetic. It was thoughtful, a solution to everyday life. Every cockpit-style dashboard spoke of Saab's aviation routes designed for the driver, with controls instinctively placed, visibility maximized, and ergonomics perfected. Every turbocharged engine wasn't just about speed. It was about a thrill delivered intelligently, without compromise. The 9000 carried Saab's philosophy in every detail: intelligence over showmanship, substance over flash. Even decades after production ended, the Saab 9000 continues to inspire admiration. Enthusiasts keep them running, restoring and maintaining them with obsessive care, polishing the paint to a mirror-like finish, and meticulously tuning engines to maintain that turbocharged heartbeat. Road trips in a 9000 become journeys of reverence. The car is reliable, responsive, and subtly powerful. For collectors, owning a 9000 isn't just about transportation, it's a statement of individuality, a celebration of a car that dared to defy conventional luxury and refuse conformity. The 9000 taught the automotive world something invaluable. Luxury could be thoughtful and intelligent, not ostentatious. Performance didn't need a V8 to thrill, nor did prestige require a famous badge on the grille. A Swedish car with Italian styling cues could compete on the same stage as Germany's finest. It proved that meticulous engineering, attention to detail, and a willingness to challenge norms could create something timeless. Its legacy isn't measured in sales figures or awards alone. It's felt every time a 9000 silently glides past a modern sedan, turning heads not with volume, but with quiet authority and subtle genius. What made the Saab 9000 truly remarkable was its soul, a combination of bravery, practicality, and elegance. It was a product of collaboration, ambition, and courage. Swedish engineers who dared to dream differently, Italian designers who dared to refine the form, and a vision that placed human experience at the center. Its hatchback practicality was innovative yet unflashy, its turbo engines thrilling yet considerate of efficiency, its interiors luxurious yet understated. Every aspect of the 9000 felt intentional, as if the car had been carefully designed not only to move, but to enhance life itself. Collectors and enthusiasts often speak of the 9000 with reverence. Stories circulate of cars with over 200,000 miles still running flawlessly, interiors intact, engines purring as if they were brand new. The 9000 became a bridge, a link between a time when driving was about connection and confidence, not status alone. In garages around the world, these cars are more than possessions. They are reminders of a time when innovation was daring, when automotive design could be practical and luxurious at the same time, and when the road itself was a canvas for creativity and intelligence. In the end, the Saab 9000 isn't just remembered, it's celebrated, revered, and cherished. It stands as a testament to a time when engineers dared to defy the ordinary, proving that luxury is far more than appearance. It is intelligence, integrity, and innovation on four wheels. It remains a symbol of individuality, a vehicle that taught the world that being different could be its own form of prestige. So, when you see a 9000 today, don't think of it as a retired car. Think of it as a living legend, a story of Swedish ingenuity, Italian flair, and the enduring magic of an executive sedan that refused to follow the rules. Its roar may be quiet, its lines understated, and its presence subtle, but its legacy is loud, bold, and eternal. The Saab 9000 may have retired from production decades ago, but for those who truly understand its brilliance, it will never retire from memory, admiration, or the heart of automotive history. If you enjoyed this incredible story, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more epic automotive adventures. Your support keeps these stories alive.